right. What are the odds? I can't see those messages from here. But what are the odds that the same time that I get my email that says, "Hey, your internet bill's ready. Time to pay your internet bill," and that's the exact same time the internet's like, "Hey, your internet's just gonna not connect for a little while." Also, your phone's gonna shut off for some reason. And reconnected. All right. I think everything is go. Oh geez. I was probably talking for a good while before I realized that nothing was connected anymore. And I don't remember what I was talking about. I don't remember at all. Hey, I can take over, big guy. Okay, so remember back in the old days when you could make a character, but then later on somebody's like, hey, now this character wears a hat or is black, and then that's okay. And then, no, we finished that part. We were definitely onto something else. We're talking about the stuff at Walmart, things being locked up, and you have to ask permission to get them. And then... and we drifted over. There was a lot of comic book stuff. I was getting to something because I was all energy and vinegar, and pith. So much pith and vinegar. I don't know what pith is, but I'm pretty sure it's not piss. Drawing camera. So Nick Fury's ears. White Nick Fury sucked. Black Nick Fury's great. And then, yeah, there was multiple Nick Furies. And then in the real world, people suck. Oh, headphones. Good. Don't need your power on anyway. Ugh. I would throw this, but I'd never find it. I don't know if you've been avoiding them, enjoying them, watching them, ingesting them, and letting them make you crazy. But yeah, seem to be starting most days with the post that affected me most during the last 2 weeks has been the, hey, it's a privilege to be able to take a step back and learn about racism and not just have it happen to you all the time. I definitely way over paraphrased there, but that's the gist of it. Is like, yeah, it is such a privilege that I just get to learn about it rather than have to, have it all up in my grill. So I kind of feel guilty. I kind of feel like it's not right to not watch these 45 videos Instagram is going to give to me first thing in the morning. And I shared a bunch of them in my Instagram stories, and it was just like, I can't. This is crazy. This is crazy. People are crazy. People are strange. When you're a stranger, and even more so if they know you. Like this one guy I could not believe. Like, guy picks his friend up. I'm gonna say that's what happens in the timeline. Guy's in the car, his friend gets in the car, and he's like, hey, see that cop over there? Like, yep, he's just parked over there waiting for us to move. That's the only thing that he's doing, is waiting for some black people to drive a car, and then he's gonna come after us. So they're like, all right, everything's cool. Yep, we got all our paperwork. We don't have any guns. We don't have any ammo. We don't have any drugs. We're not up to anything. You're just picking me up at this girl's house or whatever, and everything here is 100%. So let's see what he has to say. Keep the camera going. Of course I will. Here we go. So they start to drive away from this house for, I don't know, 4 seconds, and the police car pulls out of wherever it's been watching them in this parking lot. Whoop whoop. Pulls them over. They're like, hey, what's going on? Like, hey, like, where are you going? Like, it doesn't matter where we're going. Like, where are you coming from? What were you up to? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, can I see some and asking, like, the passenger who got in, like, can I see some ID? And the passenger being like, you know who I am, Derek. Like, oh, all right, well, are you supposed to be in there? Are you supposed to be in there, Steve? Like, am I supposed to be in where? Like, isn't that Becky's house? All of these names, I do not remember what they were. Like, are you supposed to be in Becky's house? Like, am I supposed to? What? What are you talking about? Like, all right. Like, I think I'm gonna have to take you out of the car. Like, get out of the car. Like, why? What are you talking about? Derek. Like, no, this is you can't just are you supposed to be like this? What do you mean am I supposed to? And he just kept asking him his business, and it's just like, this is terrifying, because he did pull out either a taser or a gun on him, and was still just like, hey, like, I'm afraid for my life right here. Just like, you just came up to my car and started harassing me, and now you're acting like you're in danger. That is wicked not cool. And it's just like, that's the plight of black people and indigenous people all the time. And like, I used to live, like I said, between 2 different reserves, native reserves. And every weekend, always, they'd have cops posted all up along it, just waiting to catch native people. Like, that's it. And it would be great to say, like, no, like, down this road, it's a dangerous road. People are always going out to the cabins and whatever, drinking and driving through here. Like, yep, that's true. It's definitely mostly going to be white people that you should be catching. But every time I drive through there, I genuinely, as ignorant, as racist, as horrific as this is, like, could say to myself, like, well, for all of my anxieties about just randomly being pulled over and asked where you're going, what you're doing, as soon as there's a line of cops, like, I suddenly feel like, oh my God, I'm driving so drunk right now. Like, you haven't had a drink in literally a year. Doesn't matter. This cop is making me feel drunk and confused. So just full panic, like, getting ready to just, like, I'm just going to have to cry my way through this, because I am not in control of my emotions right now. But still just thinking, like, it's bright enough out that they can see me. So they're not going to pull me over, because I already know that any cop that's lined up on this street is a racist cop, and they're not here to catch white people. And that's terrible on so many levels. That is just like, taking solace in the fact that, like, I feel a bit safer because I'm not going to get harassed. I don't feel like anybody's being made safer on this road. So it is, like, again, when it comes down to, like, don't necessarily wipe out all the cops, but I do know for a fact that in most places, they're all not good. It's a very small percentage. The one good cop that I met, he's dead now, and, still think about him all the time. He fully was just like, yep, I'm surrounded by maniacs, and I can't report them, because then I will be murdered, basically. Like, oh, that's how it works? That sucks. And he would go to people in the community, because he worked on the reserve sometimes, and he was sent there. Most people were sent there as a punishment, and he went from door to door like, hey guys, I'm here today, so if you have trouble that might require police, please call me, because I will come to help. It's not the usual guys that show up here to harass you. And eventually it got to a point where, again, why police reform of some kind is needed, because in that community there was so many issues, so many police issues all the time, that now, present day, currently, there is like I don't know how to say it, I don't know what it is, but it's like a committee, a team of people it's their job to police the police. the police have to report to them because they don't know how to conduct themselves around non-white people, basically. And I realized, I was thinking this over the weekend. What day is it? It's Tuesday. It's still only Tuesday. Wow. I was thinking this over the weekend that a lot of, especially white cops, a lot of white people definitely think, and I will go the other way, non-white people think this about white people think this about non-white people. I hate using the term non-white people. It's terrible. But in the interest of making my point, over the weekend, every day, all the time, there's always Native people being beat to shit by police because, oh, well, I couldn't tell. He was drunk or on drugs, so what else could I do but tase and punch? Oh, he was a black guy. It was a Hispanic guy. It was a Mexican guy, but they were drunk and or on drugs. So, I mean, we all know, right, that when a non-white person uses drugs or drinks, they Hulk out. They become incredible Hulk level of power that cannot be stopped with anything other than death, right? Like, that's the only reason to explain this, because in the exact same situation, and I've seen firsthand 1,000 times where, oh, so-and-so, don't worry, he's just drunk or on drugs, let me get him home. Hey, come on, Stevie, like, just get in the car, let me get you home and you'll be okay. Like, hey, I know, like, oh no, don't need to fight me, like, it's fine, let me get you home. Like, I personally, like, a friend of mine was like, hey, can you go over and help me with something? Like, yeah, always there. What do you need help with? Hey, my drunk dad got the drunkest ever and he wants to go to rehab, but he'd rather fight about it, so can you help me get him to rehab? Like, okay. And then, in the course of him begging for help, also taking the time to threaten to fight me. Like, do you want to go? Do you want to go? Do you want to dance? And I'm just like, are you talking about, like, dance because you're, like, drunk? And you're just like, let's just dance. And I'm like, that's still weird, but I also don't want to fight you. I'm here to take you to the hospital, man. But you want to fight me? So, in that instance, I didn't fight that old man, who has a history of fighting other people randomly when he gets drunk. I don't know him. It was honestly the first time meeting this guy. And it's like, yep, gonna do what I can to get him over here. Like, can you stay with him while I go get the car, while I go do this, whatever? Like, yep. Even though he wants to murder me right now, I'm still going to stay with him and keep him safe. And that seems to be what white cops do with white people. It seems to be what black cops do with white people. And in this building here, it seems to be what the nice lady cop and the nice Asian cop do. It's still a pejorative racist thing to say, but that's what they seem to do when they come here to deal with the drunk people. The next thing they need to do is send some sort of social service, somebody to help out after that. But I've met way too many cops that they are just like, yeah, oh, don't worry, I'm not going to bother you. Why did you just say that? Because we're just hanging out with friends, but, normally I'm a cop. And, see so-and-so's parents over there, like, smoking all that weed. Like, yeah, what's the deal with this? Because you're a cop, and this is many years ago before it was, at the store. Well, I mean, it's my friends, like, parents' anniversary. I'm not going to go bust them. I came here, they invited me, this and that, like. But if you leave here and you see anybody doing something on the reserve, you're going to jump them, right? Like, well, basically, I mean, it's just like, as long as you're somebody I don't know. And it's like, ugh. And exactly, Space Goodies. How many times, and I've seen that post 1,000 times, like, we all know people who work in the medical industry and in the hospitals where people are losing their mind, just completely flipping out on all the drugs, on all the booze, on all the whatever. Just pure rage. And it's just like, we're going to find a way to calm you down and get you to safety. And again, the last guy that got shot in the back for running away because he was clearly terrified that he's going to get shot after being tased. Yeah. Nothing makes any sense. And it is just like, it's these power escalations where, again, talking to that guy who I knew who was a good cop, and him explaining, like, no, this is how it goes. Like, they don't have a weapon, you don't pull out a weapon. You're just using your words. They pull out a weapon, you can pull out a stick. They start getting attacky, then yes, then you can maybe tase them down if your life is actually in danger. But if somebody's running away from you, guess what? Your life's not in danger. If it's a parking violation, they're definitely not going to go run off and murder people, I don't think. So you can't just shoot them dead in the back. If somebody's asleep in their house, and you go into their house regardless of whatever legal ramifications say that you can, and because you're afraid that they might be drunk or on drugs, so the only way to take out somebody who is, as far as an Incredible Hulk under those blankets, you got to take them out before they come at you, even though you're just in a suburban neighborhood. This isn't Osama bin Laden, and even that is still kind of like, well, you guys shot an old man 1,000 times. You don't want him to answer for his crimes? You just want to explode a man? That's crazy town. Turn my reference photo back on. So yeah, I think a lot of stuff comes with, again, and that last guy that shot a black guy in the back, it was just reported he had come from just doing, his 9-hour course on how to de-escalate situations. He was just trained in this, just trained in how to handle a situation without shooting somebody to death, and he still shot somebody to death. Yeah, it's hard when you really want to pew and they're like, no, you can't. That's not really what we hired you for. Oh, I'll find a way. And I'll say it's 100% true because it's what I would do. It's what I would do. Are you talking about shooting things? Are you talking about guns? What kind of authority job have you? What are you even talking about right now? You're talking crazy talk. Is this crazy town? I think we're in crazy town, and you're the mayor now? Yes and no. But no, I mean, like, when I get a job, when I have a job, every job that I have, here's what you're supposed to do. Yes, I will do my best and put all of my efforts into making sure that happens. Exactly what you want to happen, I will do that. It will get done. But you're still going to sneak around and do it your own way. You're going to, hey, chief, I get results. You're going to pull that whole thing. You can't fire me. I am the law. I didn't break the law. I'm Sylvester Stallone over here. You can't see my face, but hey, I don't care about comic book continuity, so let me just take off my judge mask. And then, you can all look at too much Judge Dredd. But yeah, basically, that's what I do at every job that I have is how long do I have to pretend to do things the way everyone else does everything until I can be like, hey, by the way, I'm doing it my own way over here. Anybody wants to get up my face about it? Feel free. But once again, still get results, but my results don't involve dead bodies. Doesn't involve choking people. No punches. Watch this. I like how you lean back a little, but I can't hit him, no matter how much I want to. Kind of winged him a little bit there. A little bit there. But that's it. That's it. There have been animations where, yeah, I've killed him off. I've had other characters kill him off. I've had him explode all over the place so many times. How long is it going to take me to draw one nose? Whoa, 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 Pat Prose! With the JK over here, that's a hate crime now. That's a hate crime, alright? JK, canceled, alright? Even if you're just kidding, that woman is a monster. And maybe that is something I'm happy about. J.K. Rowling doesn't believe that trans women are women, and that somehow affects her womanlyhood. But whatever. That's what you get for writing Satan books about a little sinner child and his little Satan powers. But yeah, she basically just said that something about how she just doesn't feel comfortable, you know, with trans women calling themselves women. She'd rather they were like, no, 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 you're something else. And then Daniel Radcliffe, little Danny Radicals, was all like, no! How dare you? Because, I mean, she made a lot of money on the books, but that little Radcliffe kid, he made her all the money, realistically. If those movies didn't come across that great. But yeah, it's the exact same principle as the gay marriage thing, where it's just like, if gay people get married, then what will my marriage mean? I'm gonna guess nothing then, because if it takes somebody else getting married to ruin your wedding, then guess what? You're either gay, and you actually wish you were married to somebody completely different from your significant other, or you're just a monster and you're unhappy, and you got to find a way to be unhappy, because there's no way, unless you fully adhere to the keeping up with the Joneses, well, we can't be happy. The neighbors have a VCR. I know that I'm not happy because I don't have a VCR or a pool. Okay. Or you weren't happy with that person. Also, yeah, some people just get in relationships specifically to hate. Like, I'm going to call it itchy and scratchy syndrome, and I'm going to say it's a real thing right now. That a lot of people are just straight up like, hey, who am I going to fight with? You're fun to fight with. Let's stay together forever and fight until we, fight each other too hard. Yeah, Australia just seems like an awesome place full of pretty awesome people now. So that's out the window. You gotta do. It's gotta build a new island. We've done it before. We could do it again. I think everywhere can be the New Zealand. Need a New Zealand land for life. That didn't go anywhere. Didn't make any sense. Well, what's great about biblical cleansing is the universe kind of takes care of it. And by universe, I mean the racist supporters of racist clause are already like, hey, we're all gonna clamor together. We're gonna chant, we're gonna yell, and we're gonna spread the most effective way to spread the COVID is to just get in a room full of people and just yell and chant things and not wear masks. And Captain Genius is like, hey, I'm gonna have a rally. I'm gonna get all the people and we're gonna chant and we're gonna yell, and we don't believe in masks. So like, all right, cool. I kind of can't wait for that day. I'm pretty sure like it's gonna take out a bunch of them, but I mean, I don't know. Something dark and terrible inside me really wants a certain political power to just get sick. I don't even want them to die. Just get real sick so everyone can go, oh, jeez. What were we thinking? Oh my God. I don't even know how to understand this sentence. Here's a riddle. Did you hear about the two groups of people who showed up to protest a BLM? Oh, I see now. I missed a word the first time I read it. What if two groups showed up to protest against a protest, but there was no protest to protest? What would they do? What would they do? Here's one little clue. They're racist. Oh, they're just gonna fight each other. They're just gonna fight each other. And of course they would. It's amazing. Again, like, most of the political rhetoric from the Republicans now is still always just like, hey, actually, you're being more racist. And it's like, nope. No. What? You're still just saying racist things. You're just trying to say that I'm saying them, even though, like, you know that we can see you saying it, right? You know how videotape works, right? It's too legit to quit. All right now. I wear my trench coat at night so I can hide in your barn and then go, hey everybody, I had no reason to hide in the barn. Anyway, what are we gonna do about all these crazy things? Next season on the Disney Channel, Hawkeyes burn, Hawkeyes burn. Nick Fury hangs out and Hawkeyes burn. Ooh, I did not. Nope, mine's still red. Mine is still red so far. I know that there's something changed a little while ago, and I was like, oh, you auto-updated when I wasn't looking. And, whatever it was drove me crazy, and I've since gotten used to it, I guess. But, man, oh man. Ugh. Ugh. And the CTK was just asking me about the Windows 10 update, I guess. And the only thing I know is people saying, hey, don't update your Windows or else you're trapped, because the new Windows doesn't work with nothing. And you can't go back. Which, in all honesty, in all fairness, I think they kind of stole that from Mac, because that's what I always get stuck with, where it's like, update, yeah, none of your stuff works anymore. Cool, let's just go back then. No deal, dog. No deal. We only update, we don't downdate. Flip it back around and reciprocate. Then I looked closer. It was the silence of the icons. The emotion of the emoticons. Oops. Hey, could you go on a weird little rant about Transformers? Speaking of weird racist things and robots in disguise, just for no reason, just to make me happy with my nice little mask here. Just start freaking out about Transformers for for no reason. Just go for it if you can. Wrong camera. Hey, who am I to not indulge a delightful little imaginary cat who is definitely not there? But I didn't watch a lot of Transformers when I was a kid. I didn't have cable. There was like one period of time where maybe my dad was stealing cable from the neighbors. So I remember watching Transformers. And other than that, I'd have to rely on people recording it. And here's a videotape with most of an episode, sometimes a whole episode, and that's great. But usually I just never... oh yeah, it's a little closer, isn't it? He'd be over there, I guess. I'm still in the right. But yeah, so I never watched a ton of Transformers, so I don't have a bunch of it like burned into my mind like other people my age. But I still do have way more of it than I should burned into my mind. And when I think about Transformers, or when I have been thinking about Transformers over the last little while, and there's a whole other side thing that I learned years ago, but I won't even I'll get into that later. But just pure 80s transforming robots that turn into cars and or buildings occasionally. Every time, all the time, as far as I can remember, the story would usually go, hey Optimus, or whoop whoop, we have some sort of alert, we have some sort of thing where we've discovered that the Decepticons are like stealing or taking Energon cubes. And in order to take Energon cubes, which are not a thing, they seem to usually like, hey, we chop the top off of this mountain or hill and we're like pulling out cubes and then we're just like loading them on to a truck or something. Military base. And then while they're just trying to get some fuel, which I'm pretty sure for the most part the Decepticons were just trying to fuel their ships so they could actually go back to Cybertron. But the Autobots were all like, hey, you're the Decepticons. You're the bad guys, and we will stop you. And they would basically end up destroying the Energon or taking it for themselves. And or just they would have a battle where it's like, you can't take that Energon from that hill in a desert somewhere. They're just trying to get the one thing that fuels their thing so that they can maybe leave or have some power to survive. And the Transformers are just like, hey, no. We crash landed on this planet. You crash landed on this planet. We're going to call ourselves the Autobots because we turn into automobiles. And then we're going to call you guys the Decepticons because you're deceiving people by transforming into automobiles, but with more purples. Reds and blues over here. Purple, something's up. Something is up. And, I didn't watch the Bumblebee movie. It's like the only one. But the other movies are so crazy. But yeah, so I'm just like thinking about that today. So I'm like, even before we had the story that turns out that Megatron was basically just like, I was just a worker robot, and we were subjugated, and we were enslaved, and I decided to try and rise up and fight against this regime of robots that were just trying to keep us down when we could be so much more. That's a whole other separate story that turns out that Megatron is actually the good guy, and the Autobots are terrible police people who just keep beating down these slave robots. Sorry to ruin Transformers. But even in the old show, that's all I could think was sometimes the Reg Transformers were like, hey, we found an Energon deposit. Let's go get it before the bad guys take it. And then they go, and then the bad guys show up, and they're like, oh, you Decepticons, we're going to get you. Like, we are just Transformers, guy. You're the one who keeps calling us bad guys. We're just trying to get some fuel, and you're hanging out with teens for some reason. You're the one who raises questions. We're robots trying to get back to our robot planet, and you're over here doing God knows what with who are these people? And then especially if you actually sit down and watch the Michael Bay Transformers movies, I really do feel like, you know, I think by the second one, maybe it's the third one, they all mesh together in the same pile of just metal pieces anyway, except the Bumblebee one looks like, hey, that looks like a Transformers movie. It's tempting if it wasn't still just about some girl finding a car, which is Herbie, starring Lindsay Lohan, written by Thomas Lennon and Ben Garant. Nonsense. But yeah, when I really stop and try to break down Transformers, it's, you know, at least in the He-Man Master of the universe, it was like, hey, we're over here, and we're fairly established that we just want to do evil things, alright? I've got a skeleton head, my girlfriend's name is Evil Lynn, and, I mean, Beastman is literally just trying to bite people's faces off, and, you know, excuse me, we're here for evil. But yeah, in the end, it is just like, what's the message here? For the Michael Bay ones, it was just like, I think the message is just be racist. These are weird. Like, why are the black robots so black? Excuse me. I mean, so stereotypically black. It's like, they're from another planet. Why do any of them have different races? Why is there a Scottish robot? Don't know. You guys just got here. But mostly, yeah, when I think about classic Transforms, I'm just like, what was that about? Is that what you were talking about? Yeah, that'll do, pig. That'll do. You really have to fix my loop. There's something wrong with it. I keep popping it. I don't like it. It's like, have you ever, like, you're trying to focus on something, but then all of a sudden it feels like, did time just shift? Did I just Black Mirror into something else over here? I feel weird. It's like that, except when you look at me, you can see I physically glitch through time, and it's inappropriate, if anything. It is unacceptable. I hear ya. One of these days I'll remember to check it out. 'Cause you had a bad day. Camera don't lie. Everyone records everything that you say. Oh, man. One of my favorites of the week, favorite racist of the week, yeah, That's a thing we can have now. Hey, it's time for my favorite racist of the week. Each week we'll be counting down the top 5 racists, and I'll be doing my weird, foggy Nelson arm acting from that show I referenced earlier, a callback. From Instagram racist of the week is, there were so many, but my favorite, I think I have 2 favorites. Oh no. Hey, no, you have to pick one. There could be only one. Highlander rules apply. Unless we want to go with the Thunderdome, and like TTK said before, two ideas enter and then one racist can leave. Let's have a racist off. Alright, let's see who's being the most racist. Let's go. Okay. Kind of like this game. This one lady... How do I want to do this? A little darker there. Okay, I'll go second favorite first and then favorite. So second favorite, it was like, this one's almost adorable. It's almost adorable racism. Camera's definitely out of sync now. And 2 guys are at a Walmart. Everyone's playing. Tell your mom we're judging racists on no such thing as grownups.com. One lady, she's like, I'm guessing a greeter at Walmart. Thanks for following, Brinextrix. Hard to see that from here. Actually, I can click on this. Brinextrix. Alright, I said that right. Yeah, I got the noises working again, except, remember I threw my headphone earlier, so I can't hear it. So this Walmart greeter is being filmed by 2 don't really get to see him very well in the thing, but it's definitely 2 black guys, and they're just like, what's going on here? And it's just like, no, get out of here, like, you're not here to shop, you're here to steal, like, get out of here. And they're just like, you can't talk to us like that. Like, we're allowed to walk into Walmart. Like, well, what are you doing here? Like, what's going on? And just like, this lady's like 3 feet tall, 7,000 years old, and she's just freaking out. Like, no, this is unacceptable. Why? Why are you in here? Why are you in here? Like, you don't have to ask us why we're here. We're allowed to come into Walmart. No, but you're not going to buy anything. You don't have any money. Like, you don't know what we have. So then, like, a manager is standing there, and the greeter's just like, are you going to deal with this? Are you going to deal with this? And the manager's just like, I am. I'm dealing with you. Anybody has the right to browse Walmart, whether they buy anything or not. You can come into this store. That's a service that we offer, is, open doors are open so you can come in. And she's like, but no. And then she's just, like, not really saying anything. And the guys are just like, just say it. Like, is it because we're black? You don't think we can buy things because we're black? And no. And she just kept screaming. She did not disagree with that. She was just like, son, like, deal with this. Like, deal with this. They're filming me. And she's like, yep. When people are being racist, you get filmed. Like, I'm not going to stop them from doing that either. So she starts to freak out and storm away. And she's like, whatever, like, how are you going to afford things? And so they say back to her as she's walking away, like, I make more money than you, lady. Like, what are you talking about? I can afford to buy whatever I want in here. How dare you? Like, just because I'm black doesn't mean I can't afford to shop at Walmart. And she gets a little ways away, and she turns around and yells, like, yeah, drug money. And then they're just like, what? Like, I don't sell drugs, lady. Like, what? So she walks away for a minute, and mostly she's upset that she's being filmed, but it's like she doesn't realize you're being filmed for doing something. So she comes back up the aisle while the manager's still saying, no, like, go take a break, get out of here, we'll deal with you, like, please leave these men alone. And she's still screaming, like, they're filming me, like, make them stop, like, you're being crazy. They're allowed to walk in the store. So she comes back and just stands, like, 12 feet away from them, 14 feet away, with her phone, filming them, which I guarantee was not filming them, because she clearly had no idea what she was doing. But, man, oh man, was it ever adorable. It's like, cool. Do you think that having your phone out is a crime? Because it's not. And it's proving to be very valuable lately. So that's number 2. I'll give that person number 2. And number 1 on this week's list. And again, I'm not going for the violent ones. I'm not going for the ones that were like, people being beaten. The guy in Montreal that was like dragged out of his house after being nothing but pleasant. I don't understand what they were saying, but it seemed to be, there's a noise complaint. Like, check it out. Everything's cool. It's just me in here with my wife and kid or whatever. Yeah, everything's fine. And then all of a sudden, come with us. Like, blood on his head. Like, what? Why? What? That seemed wicked unnecessary on 1,000 levels. It was a noise complaint. Nobody in this building ever gets dragged away for a noise complaint, and sometimes they should definitely get dragged away for a noise complaint, because in this building, sometimes they're like throwing themselves against the walls. So that one is like, that's, all the real ones are top. We're talking the adorable people who are just being so adorable that they should have a rubber bullet shot up their butt. But this lady, she's just like, she's standing up on the bus, and again, when people do they wouldn't know. I say they. The white people who are the racist people don't know, but they're fully clearly trying to go Super Saiyan. Like, all of the anime that they don't know about, they're summoning all of this power that they've never heard of, and somewhere in their head, if they had any idea of what Goku was, they'd be imagining themselves enveloped in these colorful flames, perhaps with the little ears and tail. I don't know enough about Dragon Ball, but they're just like almost Naruto running, but without moving. Naruto screaming. So she's screaming. Oh God, yeah. Real versions of everything suck. That's a stone cold fact. No matter what it is, if there's a real version, it's gonna be the worst. Forgot what I was doing in the picture. Let's get rid of these lines and see what he looks like. He doesn't have a long enough face. But if we call it Nick Fury and not Samuel L. Jackson, then I don't get in trouble. Let's go to the camera where you can see the thing I'm talking about. But anyway, let's put a backdrop behind him. So, lady's on the bus, and she's just screaming. She's like, no, I'm not racist. I love China. I love Mexico. I love, and she's just listing all the different places where it's just like, okay, these are your top most racist groups to hate. Clearly, you're just listing them, but saying I love them, but I love them over there. When they come here, they should learn how to speak English. And she's just screaming, how dare you? And then a bunch of people are just coming to the aid of these two guys who are speaking, I forget what they were speaking, but a different language. And so this other guy's just like, you're being racist. She's like, I'm not being racist. They are here. And she's like, you're being racist. Like, they were having a conversation that has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with any of us, and you decided to chime in and start screaming. So now I'm chiming in and telling you what you did was wrong, because you are addressing everybody right now. and everybody has the right to speak their own language. Like, that is race. Like, no, no. It's like, I'm not racist. It's fine. Like, they can be whatever they want to be, but when they're here, they speak English. Just like, lady, you're riding the bus. You don't get to make any proclamations of anything, for one. And two, you're barely speaking English as it is. So how dare you? How dare you? You're a stark raving idiot, and you don't get to do this. So she's still screaming, and the bus isn't moving, and she's just like, I'm gone. You know, this is insane. Like, I think she threatened to call the police for whatever she thought the hate crime she thought was being presented against her, because you know, whatever. And the bus driver's like, I called the police. Don't worry, everyone chill. So then the police come and they grab her and they take her away, or she takes off before the police get there. And that's the thing, it's just like, you think that, oh, they're using a secret code, so they're getting away with something right now. It's just like, no, they know more than one language, and one of them is not as difficult to use. And you know one language that you already definitely find difficult to use, because it is. Because I wrote a weird little poem thing on Instagram the other day about how if you know how to spell ace, then of course you know how to spell base, right? ACE equals ASE. It's simple. It's just something you have to remember for the rest of your life. And then there's a bunch of, every word that rhymes with another word has 1,000 contradictions. And then in the end, I ended with something like, hey, and don't forget, you can also, BASS is also how you spell base. So the English language is a scam designed to keep people from getting down with it, honestly. Really. Like, when I learn about people learning other languages, it sounds like these are all structured in a way so that people can learn them and use them as a language and communicate. Whereas English is like, you don't get it. It's sarcasm, man. And we're all stuck in this weird Ross and Rachel Chandler world of sarcasm and nonsense. And exactly, the first thing I was thinking was, oh my god, like, I felt so the opposite in Mexico and Cuba when I was there, because it was just like, I don't know anything. I am being, like, I just wanted to scream, like, sorry, I'm being so racist. I don't understand what's happening. I'm racist. I definitely should have learned more. I tried to learn some words. I know a handful of words so that I can eat and find the bathroom and tell you, you know, you're doing great. But beyond that, I'm just guessing. I am a bad person for not learning more. And instead, you know, I'd rather not know what's going on than be like the Americans that are always there that are screaming like, anybody speak English here? Like, in a different country where English is not the first language? Excuse me. You should very much consider yourself lucky, as I do, that these, you know, continent of people, if you will, like, so many people have taken the time to, like, we will bend to you because, you know, you're just a 2x4 in the head, and we're all just going to be grass in the wind, and we're going to bend with you so that we can, you know, help everyone have a vacation? Like, come on. And basically, yeah, we're just like, hey, keep your language inside. Now I know that whenever Pat happens to utter some French words, we all jump down his throat immediately to remind him, hey, keep your kotak out of here, you weird pervert, your fake words. But no, like, even when I jokingly attack Pat for speaking a different language, I still feel bad about that. Like, in a world where I do know he knows I'm joking, I know I'm joking, and learning new languages is way more important than not learning new languages. And I think everyone should, Even if you're joking around with your friends, you should still feel bad about the things that you say. I want this closed. Beep. Nick Fury, rocking it out. Nick Fury, got a flying boat. That is what it was. Nick Fury making balloons. Nick Fury checking balloons. Oh, you know what the other song? It's always in my head. And oddly enough, especially when I see politicians on the news or whatever. I think his name has finally floated out of my head. That's Peter Hudson. That's Peter Hudson. You know that you can trust him. That's Peter Hudson, yeah. It wasn't Peter Hudson, though, but it's something that rhymes with Hudson or trust him. But whatever. Catherine Ryan's rap, that end part where she's walking away. That's Peter Hudson. You know that you can trust him, yeah. That yeah is like just fused into my head. And talking about Taskmaster, like I often do for anybody who doesn't know, a lot of the episodes are on YouTube now. Taskmaster with Greg Davies. I hated that mayor. That mayor, at first I'm like, oh, he's fine, until he described Catherine Ryan's thing. And there was something about that was just like, oh, he was perving on Catherine Ryan, for sure. Maybe it was the thing about, no, I noticed your pants. Like, what? Why? That's Peter Hudson. You know that you can trust him, yeah. I think my favorite part of all the episodes ever is still, I can't handle, like, when John Richardson sings this song, it's kind of painful, but I did agree that it's just like, it was definitely came off better than Doc Brown's, who is a singer. Those ice creams, that made my day. Those ice creams made my day. Oh, man. I like the fact that he didn't win, that was a lie. That one did win, but that Peter Hudson, you can't trust him. And he was just putting on airs. Colors the shield colors. The blues. This is not making the colors that I'm trying to make. Because, yeah, he was 100% impressed. But when they were watching it back, when John Richardson was like, I have to walk away, I was 100% like, I want to walk away, but I still need to see this. And I'm like, if I was there, oh my God, like, this would be the most painful thing in the world. And it's like, I just sing all the time. But if it was like, hey, impress this person, then I was like, all right, let me sing Desperado for you. And it's bad. It's just bad. Anyway, we need some stars. And what time is it? Oh, it's already 10:30. Holy snaps. Options. Star tool. 0.60. Boop. That's Peter Hudson. You know that you can trust him, yeah. It's that yeah, though. Oh, it was such a nice, smooth yeah. Nick Fury and his bucket of parts. I guess I should have made these even. Ugh. Ah! Nick Fury, check and see. I feel like he needs to be scrunched in. Shoop. There. Last minute scrunch, and I grow weary of all of this nonsense. We went through our races of the week. Maybe we'll play Countdown again if I have to get all my buttons set up in this system, because I can have all the buttons. I can have all the buttons now. We'll have to have a game of non-racist Countdown someday. Button hype. I guess that's it. Yeah, I think that's plenty. You made a Nick Fury. You finally talked about the Transformers, about the things that I really needed to hear. And other than that, did you talk about the Instagram 16 times? I think you should have talked about the Instagram 16 times. That's what I was getting towards. I can't remember how or why, but I had a whole tirade about blah, 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 watching all the videos. Everybody sucks. And then it's like, I can't just get up and work on comics. I can't just get up and do yoga. I can't just get up and play video games. That seems abhorrent. Like, I can't. I gotta do something. Something needs to be done. But what am I to do? I'm just some white kid. I'm just some white guy with an imaginary cat. I put a Black Lives Matter thing on his mask, and I gave some money to a thing. And I don't know. Gotta do something. So, I did see that. I only check Discord when I absolutely have to for work, and I absolutely had to the other day. I was like, oh, hey, I have a friend request for once. It's only Pat. I think my only friend outside of work stuff has been Pat. And then, I don't know, whatever Discord does, you're not friends anymore, so you got to refriend. And then I was like, I don't know. It says it expired. I'm not going to re-request this. Who cares? Everything is rhyme sensitive. Everything is rhyme sensitive. The glove thing, remember? If you do that rhyme, then you do the time. If you got the clams, then you can get some mams. That's seriously inappropriate for sure. I mean, I know you were about to say it that are appropriate, but I don't think, you know, I could tell from your eyes you were saying ma'am as in like ladies, but I think that the rest of us were thinking mams as in Aries. Mams Aries? That's the word. Anyway, I think you were ending. I was. But yeah, so in my I don't know what to do, and the boost, the best I could come up with was, hey, I remember that Samuel L. Jackson book about wake the F up, or no, go the F to sleep. And I was like, what if everybody wakes the F up? Everybody should wake the F up. They gotta get woke, right? The only way to do that is to wake the F up. And I honestly do think that a book that's just like every page on the left is have not me, but like all the black artists do different Samuel L. Jacksons, judging people on the left side, and then on the right side, here's information that you need to know, possibly swore at you. Excuse me. Because that's what we like. We want information swore into our heads at full velocity by Samuel L. Jackson. So why not do that? I'm not, and I can't, and I won't, but that's what I came up with for the day. Then I'm just like, all right, I kind of want to stream video games, but it feels a bit inappropriate. Kind of just want to work on some comic things. Kind of want to do a bunch of things, and I'm like, nothing is good enough. Nothing is good enough unless it somehow I almost said Trump's racism. He's ruined everything. We got a 1-up. We got a 601 racism. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm talking Price is Right. What price are we talking? We got the bunch of wrong prices. Somebody's got to come in. $1 that. We got a $1 over that. And that $1 is maybe a voice of reason and goodness. And either way, it's too late now. As in, the show has gotten too late and it's time to go to sleep. Gotta go to work tomorrow. And I make art for people from all over the world. And so far, no situation has ever come up where it's like, oh, these non-white people from different countries are ruining my life. Every single time it's like, oh wow, this is super interesting. Somebody different. And then still just like, hey, just draw me as a Pokemon trainer. Like, all right, cool. Draw me as a Dragon Ball guy. All right, awesome. Universally, gamers are pretty similar, regardless of their religion and where they came from and whatnot, and race. But I feel like I usually try to end with hey, we all learned a thing. Learn to subscribe to my Instagram. I love my Instagram. I think you should too. And there's a Twitter. I don't check it, but stuff from Instagram feeds over to there. And of course, there's the No Such Thing as Grown Ups Facebook. Everything also feeds into there. I do check those things. I just don't check my own Facebook. And yes, one of these days, a new comic. I'll reformat it. I'll get it put out in some way, shape, or form. And other than that, you know what sucks about Melania is she is right about the be better. Just be better. That is absolutely the best motto for everybody to be having. If you got to be having something, be having a motto like that. It's the only thing, if anything, I spend so much of my time hating everything that I do and just thinking this has to be better. But really, just got to try and be better, up here and in here and out here. And if everybody did that, then there wouldn't be racism, because you'd be like, hey, what are you doing? I don't know. I was just going to be mean to this person based on their skin color. But instead, I should have just been better. That's a good idea. You should have been better. Oh, man. I don't know what I missed here. This is not a touch screen. But anyway, yeah, Scary Mel B. Married to the President. All the Spice Girls, really. Sound like pretty good people, trying to change the world for the better, or at least have some time to enjoy some dancing. And then marry a tennis player. That's what we're all trying to do, is just get rich and marry a rich tennis player. Right? I mean, right? No, that doesn't sound right at all. Hey, you know what you never did? You never acknowledged Ripley at all today. Not at all. Look at her over there. Oh, she's still pretty content. Meow. 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 That was a bad edit, Ripley. You put your hand down, then you cut your hand up. That's why I can't cut to you. Sometimes you're just not unreliable. Anyway, thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Still have to reinstall Skeletor, do something with him. And, as always, where's Rachel Dawes? Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Oh yeah, still had a good time. I completely forgot. The stream crapped out halfway through. So you had a bad day. Your stream crapped out, but it relogged in a complicated way. This isn't how the song goes right now. Every woman is a piece. Don't ask how. Just make a way. Don't start a fight. Something else. Not all dogs bite. Stream is over. Making up rhymes. Need to export this video time. Raw, I'm a sexy dinosaur. I'm gonna assume the music finished. Yeah, I don't see any bars moving. End stream.